What's good, YouTube? You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Longhead. I got a video for y'all, a new Rockstar's trailer breakdown. I ain't gonna lie, they be finding all the little details on this junk. We about to get into it.
As well as the new stuff we learned in recent
Also,
days
drop in the comments, you know what I'm saying? If y'all pre-ordered y'all tickets, let me know.
Charlie Cox confirmed in the MCU. But let's roll the new promo.
We tampered with the fabric of reality.
What's happening?
It's starting to come through and I can't stop him.
Can't believe I'm in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Neither can I.
So, quite a bit of new footage here. In the first shot, Peter crashes into the mirror dimension to tumble down through Manhattan as a donut, as we've seen in other trailer footage. But now we see his initial breakthrough point into the mirror barrier, holding that box that he snatched from Doctor Strange. His arm and leg sink into the mirror wall as the rest of his body crashes back toward us, meaning this is the precise moment of Peter's initial escape attempt from Strange. Then Strange must assemble a mirror wall to block Peter's escape. Peter realizes he's swinging into his own reflection, and then Peter sinks into that barrier precisely as his reflection crashes back out of it. If that hurts your brain, just think how Peter feels. Then another new shot, Strange walks away from Peter in that stony dungeon with Doc Ock in that container cell in the background. This is the widest shot yet we have seen of this particular set, and weirdly, in the reverse shots we've seen before of Peter, MJ, and Ned taunting Doc Ock in this same location, their background looks more like a cluttered residential basement. This whole area could be inside the box, which would make it serve as a kind of pocket dimension Pokeball / room of requirement, where all kinds of odds and ends could get tossed in this room. Additionally, the setting itself could be a kind of warpable reality that shapeshifts into new forms, similar to the rules of Wanda Maximoff's pocket reality. Then more of the train battle, in which Doctor Strange condenses the ring of 8 train cars back into one, as if he is wrapping up this mirror dimension spell on Peter, because in the middle of those cars you can see a double portal as Peter is falling through it. This could actually sync with the double portal shot in which Peter whips his own foot. We can also see what this looks like from Peter's perspective as he tug of wars over that box with Doctor Strange's cloak of levitation. It looks as though the cloak from below,
bro, Peter has no shot at winning this,
from the lower portal, meaning Peter's getting double tugged.
Nice.
Now, it is just an illusion, but I love how, from our perspective, this gives us the visual of endless, infinite Spider-Man, which this movie is all but certain to deliver, with the appearances by Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, a foregone conclusion at this point, especially with the latest update that Michael Giacchino's score for this movie includes a track called Unite that samples Danny Elfman's theme from the Tobey Maguire I wonder who's gonna be uniting there. Then a shot of the entire mirror shattering as the train cars condense into bursts of 6 train cars branching out.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. Like, I can't wait for this movie,
even
bro.
Look like Thanos' ships from Titan, or just cool little Amtrak flowers. But next, I love this shot, the tearing of reality across the Manhattan nighttime skyline like we've never seen before, because it all crumbles in a way that suddenly shifts our depth of field, turning the deep background of the city into more of a 2D backdrop that bends and rips apart. Like, look at the surface of One World Trade Center, from something far away to something much closer to us, a rippable canvas. It's very unsettling, but it also tells us that this crack in reality may be localized just around the Statue of Liberty itself, a couple hundred yards out, and that whatever is coming through, it'll arrive at the shores of Liberty Island, which is fitting considering the symbolism of this statue as a welcoming safe haven for immigrants arriving to this new world. Several weeks ago in my trailer breakdown, I speculated that those new immigrants could be the X-Men. It's a reach, but it's a reach we want to be true. And that purplish glow returns from the other side, but here we also see how beams of that purple light stream in from the cracks. I'm probably reading too much into it, but from a design standpoint, this would suggest that whatever's on the other side, this crack isn't just a glowing abyss or bottom.
See, like, how do they, like, notice, like, little stuff like this? And, like, he said he's reaching, but watch that actually mean something.
bottomless pit, but rather a bright place where life exists. You know, while hunting for
I
these
knew it.
clues,
I
it's
said it was
best
the
not to do it on
X-Men,
an
bro.
empty stomach, which is why I'm super grateful to HelloFresh for keeping me fed. Thanks to
I
HelloFresh for
want credit
sponsoring
in
this
that
video.
theory.
You can get mouth-watering seasonal recipes and fresh, pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh makes cooking at home fun, easy, and affordable. The holidays can be hectic, but HelloFresh helps keep things simple with recipes and ingredients that cut out grocery shopping and limit meal prep time so that you can spend more time with your friends and family or perfecting your snowball aim to finally compete with the neighborhood hooligans. Youths. With HelloFresh, produce gets from the farm to your doorstep in under a week for peak freshness. HelloFresh has more 5-star reviews than any other meal kit, so you know you'll get something delicious. HelloFresh's pre-portioned ingredients mean there's less prep time for you and less wasted food. Last night, I made some delicious stir fry that I'm still savoring the flavors of. I will never brush my teeth again.
All right, I got my pork going with all the spices in. Rice is almost done. And then other ingredients over here. Got my sauce all gooeyed up and yum yum. Stir fry, oh my, what a dinner!
So go to HelloFresh.com and use code ROCKSTARS14
W
for up
ad,
to
W
14
ad.
free meals and 3 free gifts. Then we see Peter back in his Iron Spider armor in that bridge battle with Doc Ock, dragging across the concrete, producing sparks, being towed by something heavy, and as he goes over the edge, if you look closely, you can see that it is a black SUV that he is saving from crashing down below. It actually looks like the same car that has Paula Newsome's character in it in the first trailer. So confirm this character is someone very important to him that he does not want to die. I guess you could argue everyone is someone he doesn't want to die. Then, as Doctor Strange leads them all into the sanctum, Ned says,
Can't believe I'm in the sanctum sanctorum.
Neither can I.
an interesting response from Strange. It could just be simply his annoyance at having to allow Peter's dope.
Alright, let me guess, Mephisto.
Home, as in, I also cannot believe you
Watch,
are
he
in
gonna
my
somehow
sanctum.
tie it into
But
Mephisto.
if the theories about Strange being under some kind of supernatural influence in this film end up being true, like under the spell of the Scarlet Witch, this could just be another clue, like that other line about him never having kids, that he could be an outsider who doesn't belong here. Now, there were a few other confirmations in recent days. First, over the weekend, at the No Way Home Villains panel at CCXP, B-roll confirmed that the pumpkin grenade that Peter lunges after in the feast lobby is thrown by, well, unsurprisingly, Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, but after he lost his helmet and now has this terrifying expression on his face. This seems to go along with the thinking that Norman might have previously shown his face in this homeless outreach center as a homeless resident, making his attack now feel personal and terrifying. During this panel, Willem Dafoe actually talked about putting back on that goblin costume.
Also, I don't know how much we want to fool with spoilers, but
Oh, we love spoilers.
the look's a little different.
very
Old
sexy.
Norman and the Goblin are further down the line.
Hey,
and they have a
yo,
few more tricks up their sleeve. There've been upgrades.
Did my man just bite his lip?
Are further down the line and different.
very
Old
sexy.
Norman and the Goblin are further down
Hey,
the line.
yo.
And they have a few more tricks up their sleeve. There've been upgrades on the costume, let's say.
And by upgrades, we must wonder, since Doc Ock acquires Stark Tech through the nanobots, Electro juices up with an old Stark arc reactor, what Stark Tech would Green Goblin have now? I'm
Glider?
wondering if
Upgraded
Edith
glider?
could be the answer, which would give Norman Osborn control of Stark's drone fleet, and that was the football that Peter Parker fought Mysterio over in Far From Home. Remember what Edith stood for, even dead, I'm the hero, which could be ironically twisted by Norman Osborn as well. But of course, the biggest confirmation we
But
got,
what would
which
he
we will
use
definitely
them
be talking
for,
about
though?
more in the coming days and weeks, came from Marvel head Kevin Feige in an interview to Cinema Blend, and he confirmed that Charlie Cox will be returning as Daredevil in the MCU.
If you were to see Daredevil in upcoming things,
Who's this?
Charlie Cox, yes, would be the actor playing Daredevil. Where we see that, how we see that, when we see that, remains to be seen.
Oh my god! I gotta say, I'm not surprised that this is the case, but I am surprised that Feige went out and said it like this. Now, he did not go as far to say Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, will appear in No Way Home. He said if Daredevil ever shows up in the MCU, it's gonna be Charlie Cox. It didn't say what title it would be, but I mean, come on. This does adhere with the various rumors about Cox showing up in No Way Home, which would join the speculation that Murdock's nemesis, Wilson Fisk, Vincent D'Onofrio from that same series, will show up in Hawkeye on Disney Plus in the same release week. It is all coming together! And the very prospect of Netflix Marvel characters showing up in the MCU at all, how they got here, whether they were always here, and which others might return as well, is just too huge of a question that we will be discussing further soon. So to support this channel so that we can make more of these kind of videos, please check out one of our great merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EAVoss, follow New Rockstars, and subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything Marvel. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Alright, you know what I'm saying? That was a video. Make sure I like, comment, share, subscribe, you feel me? Also, I didn't mean to hit my mic like that. Sorry if that was loud on your guys' end. Also, comment what other videos y'all want me to react to, man. And yeah, that's it. Peace.